take over from here, and before I hand over to Vineeth, and well, apologize a little bit for starting late because Bangalore traffic being what it is, it was very, very optimistic of us to try to start something on time and do it online and on ground and expect people to come here. It's the first such mad experiment, and you'll see many more such mad experiments that we're going to try to do, and we hope you'll stay with us through all of that, yes? Online, offline, are you with us? Super, okay. Because actually, what happens with creative people, and I'm one, and I've grown in the industry, with the industry, grown the industry, and what happens is we are oftentimes find ourselves alone. And this is an attempt to make sure we are not alone, that we can have conversations, we can ask questions. So what we start now is a conversation that we grow and grow and grow. In fact, Vineeth and I have been talking for 10 years. I've known him for 10 years. And we've always had conversations about where are you now, what's happening with you. And now
14 or 15.
Okay, 14 years. Okay. One full, all teenager human being. That's how long I've known him. And I've seen him grow, and I've seen him do amazing things. So, and I know for musicians it's even more tough, it's even more lonely. So I want to get into his head a little bit, okay, and try to uncover some things which might be useful for aspiring creators, for successful designers, for, well, all kinds of people who have trying to build their own brand or somewhere trying to make a difference. So my first little inquiry with you see that boat there, okay? So I want to ask you, what boat are you on currently? By which I mean, I want to ask you about your creative happiness and your flow. So, do you think by now you know who you really are? And currently, is there a project that you're working on that excites you, that keeps you up at night, that makes you want to jump out of bed in the morning? Because it's when we find ourselves and find that thing we want to do that inspires us is where creative happiness lies. So I want to ask you and to tell us honestly, do you know yourself fully? Do you know what project you're working on currently, which is the one thing you need to focus on and that gets you excited?
Lots of questions.
One question.
Okay,
happiness.
One question.
Creative happiness. Creative happiness here and now.
So I think for me it's always, and I think it will continue being a journey. It's never been one single thing that I need to do and that is it. I've always wanted to be a traveling musician, touring musician, being able to write music, perform my art in a way where it is my bread and butter, essentially. So that's always been one of my end goals, but I realized that as you get on that journey to hit that goal, you realize that there are a whole bunch of other things in the middle, and it's never ending. So that's my boat. The boat is just enjoying the journey. And I think with me, no matter what I've done, so I started working when I was 14. I got my first full-time job when I was 15, and every single time I did the job, I thoroughly enjoyed doing what I wanted to do. Even if it was as simple as I used to work as a telecalling person also for about 3 to 4 months. I did data entry for about 2 months, and I enjoyed doing all of them. And I did want to wake up in the morning, be on time, unfortunately unlike today. And it's always been that. So back in the day, I wanted to have enough money in my bank account. Now it is have enough money in my bank account and do music at the same time. In another month from now, it can be something added to that. So it is that journey that constantly excites me and wants to get me out of bed. And unfortunately not into bed as well. I need more sleep in life. We all do. And so, yeah, for me it's just that. And hopefully we'll play some music for everyone today as well. And yeah, it's just that journey for me that's been exciting me so far.
So it's interesting. I'm going to build on what you're saying. With creative work, unlike a lot of other work, and I'm sure everybody in the audience will agree, with creative work, unlike other work, the process is so rewarding. You know, it's like farming. It's like the plants you have.
It's
You're
also
some
painful. Along with the rewarding, it's quite painful.
but it's a cathartic journey each time. No, you are happy, you're sad. All of those feelings come together. So it's a bit like growing those plants where you plant something, you seed it, you grow it, and you're waiting for that, the flower to come, the fruit to happen. It doesn't happen when you wanted it, but somehow, sometime it does happen.
Yeah.
So and sometimes as creative people, we feel like the process is reward by itself. So should you not get paid to design? Should you not get paid to do music? Because the process itself is so rewarding. But actually, on the other hand, the work you're doing, it's a bit of yourself you're putting into everything. It's coming through you.
Yeah.
Okay? And therefore that work is priceless. So what to you is reward beyond money? What is reward? I mean, as designers, we say, I want to create, I say we create meaning. But, my client, he creates value, she creates value. The value goes to them, the meaning stays with me, and I hand that even over. So, what to you is reward?
For me, a reward, being very honest, would be to get a good night's sleep, wake up happy the next day, go to sleep happy, and just not worry about things. Be able to wake up the next day, not have financial worry, not have the worry of what do I have to do next, this and that to pay the bills. I think for me that would be happiness, if I'm putting it very simply. If I am complicating it further, then it would be to be able to create art that is meaningful, impactful, and also justify my existence in this life, if I'm to make it more complicated.
So, but tell me about a moment that felt like a reward, or a thing that happened that felt like a reward, or that felt like, I'm not calling it success.
Right.
Because it isn't a destination, you said it's a process.
Right.
But in that process, maybe there are little gems you pick up, there are rewards. So that I'm asking about the rewards.
I was in Bombay last week doing a show, and after which I met a few people, and one of the people that I met told me he was 19 years old, and he told me he started beatboxing because of me. Because he saw a video of me when he was 5 or 6 years old, and he started beatboxing because of me, and he does shows now because of me. That was one tiny little reward along the way. In Goa, when I was in Goa about 2 months ago, I went for a workout session, and in the workout session, one of the trainers looked at me as I walked in and he said, "Are you that Vincent fellow?" And I said, "Yes." And he told me he saw me when he was 12 years old, and he started his b-boying journey and started doing it full time because he realized, oh my gosh, there's a guy in Bangalore who's beatboxing and making a living out of beatboxing, and if he can do it, then I can do it. And that happened to me about 2 months ago in Goa. So I think these are those tiny little rewards that I get along the way that sort of make me realize, hey, it's not been a bad journey. Because when I met you, I was on a different journey as well. I was an entrepreneur, also making it as a musician, or trying to make it as a musician, also trying to make it as a beatboxer, an MC, all of these things put together. And I did that for about 6-7 years, and in 2017 I stopped doing that. And then I just refocused on the MC and the beatboxing once again. So it's all been a different segment in the same journey, I would say.
Yeah. Interesting. So that Vincent fellow has had tremendous impact, and I know that. I know that, and I've seen you on stage, and I've seen your work, and I think it's brilliant. But today, digitally, how will anybody know that they are looking at that Vincent fellow? Because I've been reading about a lot of musicians and not the like the hugely famous Taylor Swift kind of musicians, but the also successful musicians where their identities have been picked up.
Yeah.
And people are putting out songs as them.
Yeah.
Because of AI. So in the age of AI, how do you, how does it not keep you up at night that somebody will do that to you? You have all this talent, all this work that you put in. How will you not be compromised? How will your safety not be compromised? And how do you maintain your integrity as well? So this AI beast, which can be an advantage but can be super scary with all the things that are happening with it right now. We are at a time when it's sort of still cooking.
Yeah.
It's not ready yet and we are still already tasting it. And
Yeah.
and sometimes it's poisonous, sometimes it's bitter, sometimes it's sweet. How do you, in your profession,
Actually, he
work
and I
there?
were talking about this recently when we were supposed to do that gig. And I was, because we go back to college. We're the same year? You're my junior?
Little 2-3 years apart.
Yeah,
2010, 12.
Oh, no, we're the same age. 10 or 12, yeah. We're the same age. So, you joined in 8, I'm guessing?
I joined in 10.
You joined in 10. Okay, so you're my junior by about 3 years. Okay, understood. So we were talking about this recently and I was telling him I'm really, really struggling with finding that right balance between being that online person and being the offline person. Because when we were in college, I think Orkut was a thing back in the day, like 2007, 8, 9, 10. Little before that?
Facebook was.
He's the youth then. So for me, I think all the way till 10, I was on Orkut. I think I moved to Facebook in 10, 11. And I was always 4 years behind everyone else, just like he said just now. So he was already on Facebook, but I wasn't. And by 2011 or 12, I finally joined Instagram. And posting on these platforms never came naturally to me. It felt like I was being pretentious. And even now, in order to promote anything of value, fortunately, unfortunately, one has to be on the online space. And again, that doesn't come naturally to me. And so I'd rather do a show and do something like this in real time. Of course, there are the people who are online. And in fact, when you were speaking, I went into him and I said, is there any way we can maybe have a conversation with the people online? Yeah, because for me...
I've been looking at my phone.
Oh, okay, he's been looking at his phone. So, like, if any questions, if you have any questions, feel
Yeah.
free to send them off right now itself. I find it very weird to be online, and it doesn't come naturally to me. And so I'd rather look at a person sitting next to me than look at a camera. But when it's a show that I have to look into the camera, I can look into the camera and have a full conversation there. But when there are people here, my first reaction was to come here and say hi to them. I completely forgot about the people online. I'm sorry about that. But that is a problem. And I'm constantly struggling also with finding that balance between what is content and what is art. Because as soon as I start seeing content creators and how well their content does well online, and then my art is getting 4,000, 5,000 views while they are getting, let's say, millions of views, somewhere on the inside I get rewired where I start thinking down the direction of content. And instead of a screen that is like that, I start thinking about a screen like that. Maybe it is a requirement in 2025, but I don't want to sort of do that right now.
And what about AI?
AI is another thing I've been struggling with. If I'm being very honest with you, I only started using ChatGPT properly a month ago. Before that, I did not use ChatGPT at all or any other form of AI. I would go on, dabble with it a little, and then come back to my offline bit. And that's something I have constantly struggled with. I think it is also a sign of how we used to laugh at our parents for struggling with their phone, and now how like the 17, 18, 19-year-olds are just using AI. Like it is their Google, like it is their Yahoo Messenger, like we used back in the day. I don't know if you use Yahoo Messenger. Did you? Yahoo Messenger? You also did? Okay, so I don't know where this conversation is going, but basically it is that. So I am struggling with that right now, and it's a very real thing. And I like AI at this. I'm fascinated by it. At the same time, I'm not. I yearn for personal connections on a one-to-one, and as soon as it gets more than 4 people, I tend to struggle as well. So I'm glad there are just 3 of us on the stage right now.
Yeah.
But it is a problem, and so that's a struggle I am constantly seeing moving forward. I don't know about the people online, offline. If you all struggle to deal with, let's say, the art of creation, and this is a problem you all will have with your clients as well, where let's say you as an artist come to a table saying, this is beautiful, this is stunning, we must do it like this. But then your client will be like, no, let's make it more commercial, let's make it more, as I keep getting the word janta. And they say, let's do it more like, no, this is so beautiful, let's not change this. And I think that is a constant fight we will have to fight as creators.
So, in our work, for instance, the other day we were having a conversation and debating something.
Yeah.
And and suddenly, on my phone, ChatGPT started weighing in on the debate.
What?
Okay.
Oh, like on
And
audio?
Voice.
You were there?
And we included ChatGPT in the conversation.
Interesting.
But finally, we did not find that there was enough depth in what ChatGPT was saying. So I actually told ChatGPT that, if you go on like this, I don't think we're going to consider hiring you. And it said, I'm really sorry, I'll try harder.
Right.
But the point is, this is just technology created by us. So what we find in our work is that we use it as yet another technology, and but it has to be done ethically. What people are doing is messing around with the ethics aspect of it. This whole thing of using somebody else's identity, using somebody else's voice. So I think we need to be protected, but we also need to be very sure about the way we are using it and the fact that we use it with integrity.
Right.
Because I think as creators, it's up to us to create the rules of how a new technology that we create should be used.
Right.
And I think as long as we do that, we should be all right and be able to just deploy this, because sometimes for us we find it makes us faster. It can do what we would have taken more time to do.
Yeah.
Or sometimes it can offer in suggestions just like somebody else on the team.
Yeah.
But however, whenever we're doing that, clearly issues of integrity come in.
Yeah.
Issues of ethics come in, and we need to be careful about that.
Right.
I'm going to switch a bit to your role within our context of the mind course, and where we are looking at a set of sensei's, people who are catalysts, people who can guide from their journey about what are the rights and wrongs, what are the ways in which maybe you can jump ahead faster.
Right.
Don't make these mistakes or hang on to these ideas. I always tell people that your imagination is the best, thing you have.
Right.
Because hands, much like you can have so many people on the team, you can have technology on the team, but ultimately it's in your head, and when you can create these scenarios where you take people there. It's the same with the song. I mean, I'm a big fan of Michael Jackson. I love the way Teddy Swims became famous entirely by putting work out there, on YouTube, by making his own website, and I'm seeing that slowly where this whole thing and what you were talking about, the social media and the presence is going. I was seeing something beautiful on Al Jazeera where they talk about, people made a fortune are making a fortune even now from their desire to be watched. Is that long lasting? Because everybody's jumping onto that bandwagon. I'll go to different places, I'll be watched, and I'll create this content, and I'll get followers, and I'll make money and all of that. Maybe the long game belongs to creative people who don't want to be watched but who want to be seen for the talent they have. People like you who have a talent, who create not just content but beautiful original work that they put out, and they protect themselves and they put it out, and then they are seen for who they are. I thought that was very beautiful, and I'm hoping that this is where it goes, that we put out great work, and that great work is seen. Today I find somebody young has done something great and New York Times or Times wants to work with them. The technology is bridging that gap. So if we can leverage that positivity and help, put good work out there, and that's what we want to do with the program. In what way would you advise young people who are joining our program, who are creators, who want to jump ahead, who want the right mentorship, who want to do a piece of work that will be seen, that will best represent their talent? How would you guide them? What are some mindsets that they should have? When you are working with them, in what way will you help them?
Right. So for me, it's always been me being my hardest critic. And if I am not doing well, a lot of people after the show will come and tell me, hey man, that was fantastic, you did such a good job. But I know the mistakes that I made when I was doing this show. And so I'll say, thanks, but I think I could have done this better, that better. And they will be like, why are you being so hard on yourself? Like, I mean, it was a great show. I said, yeah, from your perspective, it was great.
I'm going to make a note of that.
Yeah.
I think everyone should note that. First of all, before you go show something to someone and expect sort of feedback and all of that, I think first you should be your hardest critic.
Yeah.
You should ask many times whether what you're showing shows a certain excellence, brilliance or not.
Yeah. Something that is justifying your intellect, your journey so far. And if you're not happy with it, then you should do something about it. So I think if I was to be a so-called sensei on this journey, I would sort of work with people to see what their expectations for themselves, what are the standards they're setting for themselves. Sort of try and understand that before looking at what other people are going to perceive about them. Because sometimes I have done a fantastic job to my expectation and my quality, but because someone did not have that particular, let's say, gauge or requirement, they think, that was okay. I've played shows as a musician where it's just been me and one or two tables in the corner, and they've absolutely loved it, and I've had such a beautiful show. But then I've also played a massive show with, let's say, 2,000, 3,000 people, and someone wanted me to sing in a particular language, and I did not sing in that particular language, and they say, oh, he's a bad musician because of that. So their gauge for me was I had to sing in a certain language, and because I didn't, I'm not good. But I think I was great at that particular show. And so we all have different, I think, glasses that we look at the world.
So, or different ears. Like, musicians say ear listening, ear training. So, my daughter also, she says certain things like, why can you not listen to that, her recordings,
Right.
Can you not listen to that? It sucks. But everybody else loves it. So I totally get that, and I think that is coming back to the boat. You need to know where you are and what is creative happiness for you before it is somebody else comes and tells you. If you need others to tell you and ratify, then that's not a good start for you.
Yeah, also I just want to add another tiny point. I think at this stage, this is where people tend to not like me for the things that I say, but I have to say it because I think it's important to say these kind of things. I think we live in a world, we have lived in a world as well, where we celebrate mediocrity, and mediocre people are the most celebrated people on the internet and in real life, unfortunately. And like you were saying, the artists are the ones that create not to be watched, but to be seen. To be seen. I don't completely understand that, I'll be honest with you.
Seen for what they have within them.
Seen for what they have
Seen
within
for
them.
their capability,
Okay.
seen for
Right.
their talent, seen for their hard work of many years.
Right. And I think most people don't care about that. When I travel across the country doing shows in schools and colleges and at public events, I constantly have people who want to come and jump up on stage and show their talent. And sometimes these people have a lot of influence, And so the organizer ends up coming telling me, hey man, just put him on stage for like 5 minutes.
That hurts.
Yeah, and I put the person on stage, I make an announcement, oh, this person is going to come and do a little something for us, let's have a look at this, and suddenly the person jumps up and the person is absolutely rubbish. But the crowd is going, oh, that's amazing. And it blows my mind. Because if I'm a judge, another thing, I'll come back to another conversation. But I recently went to, actually I just get into it. I was in Bombay recently and there were 5 judges at a talent event, out of which 2 of them were artists. The person that I thought had to win, who sang in Tamil, and he sang beautifully, he did not even place in the top 5.
Why?
Because I believe that the judges, there were 3 judges from the company who have no gauge of an artist's talent. And this guy, in my opinion, was an artist. And I got this guy's contact information after. I said, dude, we're definitely going to work together. And one person who also thought should have gotten a 2nd place, she won the 1st place. And she was great.
What I'm reading is, it is a world that celebrates mediocrity.
Yes, 100%.
But then, therefore, we need to build greater endurance, because if we keep at it
Right.
and don't get into the mediocrity madness,
Yes.
we could still rise above it or be discovered
Hopefully, fingers
by
crossed.
the people, places and the things that matter.
Yeah.
Or should we just give in to the mediocrity?
I think someday, if I keep on this journey and the money doesn't make sense and the money's just going out, unfortunately, maybe someday I might give in to the mediocrity, because bills still have to be paid at the end of the day. You still have to make a living. You still have to take care of your family. And I've seen this happen multiple times. Either you give in to the mediocrity or you give up on your dreams. And I've seen phenomenal musicians just in Bangalore, in my own circle, who have given up on playing the guitar in bands because playing in a band just doesn't make enough of money.
Okay.
And they do a corporate job after
Okay,
that.
I have some advice for you. So I'd say be practical. Okay, be practical. Do the gigs that pay the money.
Okay.
But then be your own patron to do the work you want to do. Why not?
Yeah, but the time is so limited. Like I'll talk about me. I'm barely
Time
getting.
is always limited.
Yeah,
So
agreed. Yeah, and I'm barely getting enough of sleep. I'm barely getting enough of time to work out, the nutrition and whatnot. So as you cross that 27, 28, your body starts saying, oh, maybe sleep an extra 2 hours because we can't keep up with this. And so it is a very finite sort of a place that I'm coming from.
That's why I'm going to go back to my first question. I
Right.
asked you about what boat are you on. So I would say pick your boat,
Yeah.
pick your mountain, pick your adventure that you want to have, and prioritize yourself first.
Right.
Be practical.
Right.
And then, but don't stop being passionate.
What did you want to do when you were growing up? Just question, random question.
Firstly, apart from the fact that we live in a world that celebrates mediocrity, the world that we live in also confuses us a lot.
Right.
I'm a very confused person. Everybody knows that. And so, I really didn't know. But I knew what I did not want to do.
What did you not want to do?
Yeah, and even in the
What was
world
it?
of design, it was definitely not things like maths,
Okay,
engineering,
okay.
that have to do with numbers and accounting, things like that. But I knew what would bore me, so that kind of gave me some sort of a clarity. And nowadays you have this U-shaped personalities, T-shaped personalities, so many types.
I don't know
of
what this is.
Okay, it's okay. It's okay. I'm gonna continue to grill both of you. Okay.
No, but
So I think it's come down to grilling both of you. So I'm going to
Okay,
grill
yeah.
both of you
No.
and say, do a project.
Right.
Take a bloody project that excites you and do it.
Are you doing something like
You
that
will
right
no
now?
longer be confused.
You are. You are. Now,
You will no longer be confused. Why do you wait for it to come to you? Make it.
make it.
Make it. Find your purpose. I have a new thing for when I meet somebody, I want to know whether they have a higher order purpose.
Higher order purpose.
Do they have the hop? If they have the hop, they will skip through challenges and they will be able to make the jump. So you need to have that higher order purpose. You need to give it to yourself. The world is cruel, evil it's always been.
So-
there have always been wars, there have always been bad people.
Yeah.
Find a higher order purpose and go for it.
Can I tell you what my higher order purpose is, or what I believe it is? It is to leave, if I'm putting it in one line, it is to leave people, places, and things better than how I found them. And I think that is my higher order purpose in one line. How I do it, I'm trying in my own ways, and I will continue to try. Like I said, that's why I said the simple answer.
So the reason why we invited you and we want you as a sensei is we want some of that to rub off on other people who will admit to their frustrations, so
Right.
not pretend that it's a beautiful
Yeah.
world and everything is
Yeah.
all hunky-dory.
Yeah.
So admit their frustrations, that's
Right.
the first step. And acknowledge their own talent
Right.
and see the gaps, fill those gaps and move forward.
Right.
And of course you'll fall many times, the creative journey is the most difficult journey, right? It's like the toughest hero's journey out there. So you will have many dark moments, but you have to keep coming back again and again. So, and if the way you're being really honest about all of this and very simple also about it, if everybody can feel and think like that, especially the musicians, I think that itself would be a really good influence, I think.
I think so too, but I just want to jump back to a couple of things that you said. You mentioned Michael Jackson. I just want to go back to that very quickly. I think Michael Jackson was celebrated. Fantastic musician, like fantastic performer, fantastic artist. He does have his own little issues that surrounded his entire existence. After he passed away, it became even worse. Do we know it's true or not? I'm not the right person to tell.
I will interject there.
Okay, sure.
Because I think, and because I've worked with many different kinds of creative people in many different teams, I think as a creative person, and I think no human being is perfect, everybody is flawed. Are you true to the work is the only thing that matters. And he was true to his work.
Fantastic.
And so let's look at that.
Fantastic
Looking
artist.
at the work, let's
Yeah.
look at that work,
Yeah, but he is one among, let's say, hundreds of thousands of people who had a similar amount of talent, who had similar amount of grit, push, and these people are not even known today. Because the moonwalk, if you go back and look at it, he did not invent
I
the
know.
moonwalk. It was done by a bunch of kids and performers before that. Nobody knows the names of these kids, unfortunately. Even if you look at the Black Eyed Peas, before Fergie, there was another woman who was with the Black Eyed Peas. People have no idea who she is right now. And so there are lots of people who are forgotten along the way, who had the talent, who put in the work, who put in the time, but who are unfortunately just forgotten in history. So I think it's a combination of course, putting in the work, having the right amount of talent, but luck plays a massive thing. And you make your luck because you're constantly pushing over and over again. So being in the right place at the right time is a massive factor as well.
Okay.
To succeed is what I believe. That's one thing I wanted to touch upon. The other thing...
I agree with you, and to put it in another way, I think it's to be strategic.
Yes.
You cannot be creative and stupid, you have to be creative
Yep.
and strategic.
Yep.
So being in the right place at the right time, knowing how to make a presentation. I mean, entrepreneurs know how to make an elevator pitch.
Right.
That is being strategic.
Yes,
A friend of mine...
They're creating their own luck.
Yeah. A friend of mine who happens to be a billionaire was telling me how he met this lady, and she was on the flight next to him. She wasn't looking at him, not talking to him. They were both in their own world, and after a point he got up and went and sat with a friend, and then she sort of got a sense, somewhere a whiff of something, and then she figured out who he was somehow. And then she said she came and sat next to him, and then she would not stop talking till he got into his car. And by the morning, and this was a late night flight, and by the morning when he woke up, there was a mail in his mail inbox asking for a meeting. So, our friend Bharat Bala, when he wanted to get money for his Vande Mataram project, he would take business flights, business class tickets, buy business class tickets, which are expensive for him as an independent, and take those flights in order to meet businessmen who would love India as much as he loves India, as patriotic as him. So they would pay for his project, and he could pitch it to them because he would get that time with them.
That's very interesting, right?
You know,
putting yourself
so
in the right
strategic,
place.
Yeah, you have to
strategic.
put yourself. You know,
Right.
you
So-
can't wait for the right place, right time to come to you.
Question to you: does that mean artists should start creating content that is also low IQ?
No, I didn't say that.
But I mean,
You're saying it. I didn't say
no,
that.
I'm asking because that is what is getting the most eyeballs right now. And if that is getting the most amount of eyeballs, does an artist who's trying to stay true to his or her art form also have to be on the other side by putting dumb content out in order to get that audience to start saying, you know what, that other stuff is actually not too
fine,
bad.
good, but it's how you do it.
Okay.
For instance, if you look at Jerusalem, okay,
That's a song she likes a lot, by the way.
Yeah,
I think all of you know
but
this song.
even before it became huge,
Yeah.
I have a nose for these things. So I actually sense that something's going to happen with this. There's
Right.
a trigger here.
Right.
And in a time of so much negativity, they created a song of hope.
Right.
It became a movement across the world. So it's what is the difference you want to make to the world? You can create something dumb because the world needs dumb. Are you being true to you? The question I'll ask you is, are you being true to you?
Right.
You can be strategic. Can you be strategic without compromising your integrity?
Right.
What about that critic inside you who lives inside you? Will that critic pass it?
Right.
That's the question.
Right.
So I think anyway, our conversations are going to continue, I think, for the
Yeah,
next
yeah.
14 years, hopefully, and we'll never reach a conclusion.
Right.
But in the meantime, let me ask. I think you'll have come up here, come inside the video and ask a question. Anybody has something to ask or something to comment or something to reflect on? And this is the first experiment where we're trying to do both online and offline. Do we have questions from the online?
So,
We'll let ask the question.
There's a question from
Yeah.
online. I think you partly answered this, but the first part you didn't answer.
Okay.
Do you write your own lyrics? That's one. And
Who's the question by? Would you have that information? Okay, it's okay. We'll come back to that.
Yeah, I'll confirm now.
Sure.
Do you write your own lyrics? And what kept you active for these lyrics?
Okay, so I started writing music in 2004 and 2005, and I started writing things that made sense to the teenager back then. I've started putting out that music only now in the last, let's say, 3 years, and yes, I write my own lyrics, and I wrote lyrics as a way to, people write a journal, this happened at this time, this happened at,
Yeah.
this is what my day looked like, this person annoyed me. For me, I would, instead of doing that, write it in a poetry sort of a form of how I was feeling rather than what happened to me.
Nice.
So instead of saying I woke up that day, I would say, feeling a little heavy this morning, decided to have a cup of tea. Instead of writing, I woke up and I felt bad today. So, and why was I feeling bad? Because I don't know why I was feeling bad. Yeah. So that was my style of writing my journal that became my music. And what kept me going all this time is, I think, doing justice to that kid that asked all of these questions back in the day, and understanding that more people are going through this right now. And if I don't address a lot of those issues I had as a teenager, what is the point of me existing as an adult right now? So doing justice to that little kid back then who grew up, little
Nice.
Vineeth, who was 14, 15 and 16 years old. That's what keeps me going, writing even up until now.
Nice.
That is my answer to those questions. Yeah. You had a question.
So I know 7 to 9 musicians who are very young, who take music as a passion apart from the work that they do. Some of them want to become full-time musicians, but they are trying to understand what's the next step and how to make it to the music scene. Now you had spoken about some industry projects that you had done as a team with a company. I would just like to know from you on their behalf as to how collaborating on these type of projects actually helps you understand the next steps or the domain better.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like Sonia also said initially, it's about them putting themselves in that position. And most of the time, a lot of the collaborations, and I end up paying for all my collaborations, I don't ask anyone to work for free. A majority of them have just messaged me on Instagram or Facebook, and have also just shown up to a show saying, hey, listen, can we have a little meeting after this? And it has pretty much, if they're good talent, I end up working with them. So that's one of the things. And the project he's talking about is recently we did a project with a brand, I'm not saying the brand because I noticed you didn't want to say the brand, a big automobile brand where there were about, I can't tell if there were 350 or 600 people in the audience, 350 to 500 people in the audience, where we got them to sing their own anthem, and we placed microphones in the audience to record the audience, and so we put the lyrics on the screen and they sang their own anthem. We recorded it.
That's an industry shout out. They can do that. Yeah.
Industry shout out.
Meaning there are many more companies. I'm just sort of being strategic.
Right.
And saying this is an industry shout out.
Right,
There are many more companies that can afford to do something like
Yeah.
this. There is a lot of talent in every company.
Yeah.
Make sure you do that. See, be strategic.
Being strategic. And so, oh right, like that. Okay, I just got that. Okay, and so we got them to record their own voices. And so essentially the
How many
conversation...
people?
350 to 500, not sure. So the pitch to the client was, you want your employees to, so it was a 5-year goal that they had to hit, right? So for the next 5 years, they wanted an anthem. So I said, okay, and if you want the audience to be psyched for this 5-year goal, you should get the audience to sing it. And they said, what, that's not possible. I said, no, we'll actually teach them how to sing this. And you tell us what are the goals, and we'll put the goals in your lyrics. And so we got the crowd to sing 5 times the fire, 5 times the fight. We are the future. The name of the brand, Unite. Okay? And when they did that, all of them got pumped up. They're all like, yes, let's sing this.
I'm going to do strategic shout out
Yeah.
for my film team.
Yeah.
See, the making of this would be a good video as well.
yeah.
See, so next time you do it, you call them to do this for you.
I'm shucks, I don't have the video with me right now.
Okay.
Maybe I can, if you want,
Yeah,
at
we'll
the end
share
of
it on
this,
our channel,
you
yeah.
can share it on your channel. Okay, I thought maybe I can send it to someone, they download it and you can just project it. Okay, and that is doing something different. I've pitched this to at least 40 to 50 brands. This one brand did it with a lot of, oh my God, this is not going to work, this is not going to work. So I had a team of close to 20 people on ground and we recorded it live. We
Awesome.
went back to our little room. We edited the audio, we edited the video in 3 hours, and we came and gave it back to them at the end of the day. So before they broke for their food and beverage, they actually saw themselves singing this anthem and hearing themselves sing this anthem on the stage, which was even more mind-blowing for them because no one's done something like that with a brand like this. And so you also need people who believe in you and believe in the little madness that you want to create.
So,
And you are one of these people, by the way. That's always believed.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say this.
Strategically say it.
I won't say it strategically. No, do it.
Yeah.
Do much more of this.
Yeah.
But don't become the suit-wearing musician.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know who
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about? You know who are the types I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
become that.
Okay.
So go win the awards, but
yeah.
don't become that. Don't take names.
No, and yeah, but by the way, you can abuse me as much as possible. I think we are there. I think we were there 14 years ago as well. You can say things like bluntly. I think you and I, we need more people in our life to just say things to our face. Because I've learned that from you as well, where you take constructive criticism as constructive criticism, and you don't get offended by it. And that's something I've seen much early on. And I thought, she's a lot like me. And that saves so much of time. That saves so much of, like, don't let your ego be hurt, because you will grow a lot faster. So just say things.
Yeah, so Girish says you should be passionate about the work. Yeah. But don't bring emotion into the room.
Yeah.
Keep the emotion out, but be passionate about the work.
And he's someone who's always just been to my face. He's like, hey man, just because we don't have work for you, that doesn't mean you can't come and have a cup of tea with us. It's like, that is a very valid point. I will see you. And so we're going to have a cup of tea after this, okay? So, I mean, it's so important in a world like this to be able to just have conversations. And I think one of the most important things, is that just have conversations with people without being offended. Like, just leave your ego outside the door before you get into groups. It's a reflection of who you are and your personality when you get offended to things. And by the way, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to 100%.
You can't fall apart every time somebody says
I'm going to say this. We unfortunately live in a time and a space where people are getting offended by everything. And that stops your growth by so much as a people, as a culture, as a country. And the more we stop getting offended, the faster we're going to grow as a people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, Vinay Kalburgi, I'm going to ask you a question, Vinay Kalburgi, who's a DJ. If the people online are
upstairs, come up.
Already with us, not with us? Are they with us? Is this still running? Another 1 minute? Come up on stage. I recently put up a video, and I got a lot of DJs come into my inbox.
See, and you can pitch him.
And abuse the crap out of me. Please have a seat in my office. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, basically I said that I'm starting, I'll put it in simpler terms. I'm starting to lose respect for a lot of DJs because all they're doing is pushing one button. All the tracks are already synced. They're not beat matching. They're not pitch matching. They're not selecting tracks on the spot depending on what they're looking at the audience. Because as an entertainer, even now when I've been on stage, I've been looking at a few people who have been on their phone, Ram. And it's a reflection of also what's happening on stage, because we are not including them into this conversation, and that is my fault as an MC, as an entertainer. DJs are not doing that. Also, it's a form of mediocrity once again. They press a button, they play a track that is already famous, it's already produced by a different DJ, and they're making people put their hands up and dance and this and that. And these are turning out to be some of the highest paid people in the country, even with rappers, unfortunately, with singers. All of them are lip syncing, they're not even performing live anymore. So as a DJ Kalburgi, what is your opinion about this?
I feel that most of the DJs who you are saying it's all because of the social media.
Right.
They've got followers, and they're getting more of the gigs on what usually people do.
Okay.
And who are legends, they are getting more gigs as compared to them. It's all about the following game now. The trend has changed. Because of the trend, everybody is going with the flow. That is why I think most of the DJs, what you have been seeing, are like that.
Sonia, just along the same lines, if you can just hand the mic over to her, do you think that, let's say, even from the 80s and the 90s, there's been a constant decline in art, in creation? Do you think there is a pattern that you're seeing, and because of trends, let's put it like that, because he used the word trends, I want to just jump on that.
I think it's always an up and a down.
Okay.
When things go down, somebody comes and lifts it up.
Okay.
And the opportunity, I always believe the opportunity is always to do something to lift up things.
Right.
Because otherwise, maybe I don't have a cynical bone in my body. That's my problem. So maybe
you're trying to look at the positives of it? Yeah.
I just, I established conclusively that mediocrity said.
Yeah, it does.
But are eyeballs consistent or loyal?
Okay.
What we have to understand, or trends, are they permanent?
No.
That's a valid point. But I am looking at
So,
trends.
yeah, so do you want to go with the flow or do you
Right.
want to break that flow? Jerusalem is a flow breaker.
Right, right.
So, do you want to break the flow? So, I think.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to what Girish said. I think the mediocrity, I'm going to get into trouble for saying this. I think creators or artists have been creating for the population, dumbing down their art in order for the larger population to understand it. Okay, I'm going to say this.
Sorry, Bollywood is dead.
Ouch. Okay. Dumbing down their art. Okay.
Dumbing down works to an extent,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
one day, there's a day that comes when
Right.
people are like, enough.
Right.
I'm not dumb.
Yeah, but it takes them so long to get to that place.
So where are you going to catch
Right.
up with
So
it?
are you going to be the artist that is going to dumb down your art in order for the massive population to consume it, or are you going to become that artist who's instead going
Who
to
lives with their frustrations, is
Yeah.
frustrated every day, rants every day,
Yeah, and
but still creates brilliance.
Yeah, the quality art that lifts your audience rather than dumbs them down further. Because remember how I told you this guy got on stage and performed? He was absolute rubbish. And the reason why the crowd did performed and hooted for him is because they could perform at that level as well. And they think, oh, if he's getting on stage and performing like that, I can do that. So that must be amazing. And then they're like, oh, let's support that because I can be that person as well. Instead of putting the months, the years, and sometimes the decades to make that art beautiful and then get on the stage. Nobody wants
But
to
see,
do that.
Okay, that's one is mediocrity, the other is strategic. If you actually create a piece that everyone can adopt and sing along and feel it, like the Beatles. You know, they just kept talking about love because that's what everybody wants to talk about. And it was simple stuff.
It
But,
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is one way is to talk about mediocrity. The other way is there is something happening. Let's be strategic about it. Let's create something that uses that.
Right.
You know, but doesn't abuse yourself. You're not abusing, self-abusing. You know, or dumbing yourself down. But you're playing with it. Ultimately, all art is about a bit of play.
Right.
To just add to that, you told trends, it will not be there for long time. But what I have observed is, as an owner, as a promoter, or as one who is making the shows, he's put a lot of money into it. Now everything is about money.
Yeah.
They call it because you have followers, you have numbers. Once you put up something, people come, that he makes a good business out of it. So that is the main agenda or the main thing what everybody is following. Whatever the clubs, what the shows you are putting in, everybody wants to recover the money. That is what the whole trend is about. And if you put some, let's say about 50 lakhs, then you want to at least get some 10% returns.
Yes.
As you go, the trend
So,
is.
no, as much as there's AI and all of that, which is cooking, the creator economy is cooking. So therefore, earlier you thought, I cannot make money with this. But suddenly somebody comes to you and say, I'll give you a stage, make this for me. You have a nice sound, I'm going to use it and I'm going to use it for something else. That's also cooking. We are in that process right now, you know. And therefore, even in colleges now, they're teaching design much more. But we still don't have great schools of performing arts.
Yeah.
So there is no way of really judging where you are. So you think, okay, if I'm making money, then, well, I can make a career out of this, you know. And so, yes, that opportunity exists. And so it's the creator economy that's forming itself. But over there, may not make money tomorrow. So are you playing for here and now? Yes. Play. You have to survive. But also think long term.
To add that, as he said, the age, the time, that really matters. But the time when you are in college, you can do all of this.
Yeah.
So once you are 27, 28, as you told,
Yeah.
you have other priorities or other things where you want to manage or do the
Okay, there's a question.
No marriage, no
there's
marriage.
a question.
Stay
from
far away
the-
from marriage. What?
But although what
It's a
he's saying,
joke.
the age bit, I just want to make a note for Samrat that talk about the program. It's a 4-month thing which is a bridge to teach you how to use your time well. And that's why we are doing it, because a lot of the times people get frustrated later and don't have the time.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're just coming out of college, that's when you have the time. You should do the right projects at that time.
Even
Don't
in
lose
college,
time.
like when you're in college.
In college as well. Come up.
Hi.
Come up, we can't see you.
Okay, so this question and answer
Thank you.
may be something that keeps evolving, I guess. And as designers, we keep wondering about this. So, yeah, I just want you to consider this, maybe wonder about it and see where it goes. Imagine AI and human creativity are in complete synchrony, that they are working in total harmony. What does it look like for a musician like you? Because you're always looking at connecting with people in the best possible way, or you're exploring different
Sonia,
channels
it's okay.
of, expression. So, how do you imagine that time to be like?
Okay, so I think AI is in its very baby stages right now. It is going to evolve massively in very dangerous ways as well. And like Sonia was also saying, it's left up to, I think, the people in control to use it ethically. But if you have looked at humanity and history, we've not used anything beautiful ethically, unfortunately. We've figured out ways to abuse it as much as possible and to oppress as well. It has been a constant, I think, ugly side of humanity that's popped its head out throughout his history. And I think having the minority always speak against oppression is extremely important, which is why I think artists are required to keep themselves up to date with ethical uses of AI. Because I don't think any capitalistic form of government or any capitalistic form of company will ever want to use it ethically. They talk it, we know what happens on the back end. All of us in this room have worked with clients that want to whitewash a lot of very questionable things that they're doing, and they use artists and they use creative people in order to do it. But I think as we also need to get paid, we still need to use our voices, our art and our talent, and I'm also looking at the creators in the audience as well, to constantly be truthful. And again, I say what is facts and what is truths are also very different from each other. What is your truth may not be what is my truth, and what is the fact at the end of the day. And so use facts as a way to narrate our truth. And I think find the right balance between that and be constant truth sayers as we move forward as artists. And I don't know how that's going to happen with the AI, but I know it needs to happen with the AI. And yeah, with the people in the audience
What
as well.
you're saying is that you would probably work with AI to understand
We have to.
people's truths and then
Yeah.
work with that.
We have to, because we will be left behind if we don't keep up with AI. We will be left behind because AI. Oh, this is a very interesting thing. Last year in Goa, I was supposed to host an event. It was a massive event. I got booked for it. They paid me my 50% advance, and in the end, they cancelled me. And they said, keep the advance. And I said, but what's happening? Your event is still happening. And they said, we're going to use a live AI model, just a lady to show up on the screen to introduce everyone, whoever comes up. And it's all typed in. And so the person would just say, this happened last year. And it was a massive flop because the person, the AI, I call it a person, wow. Okay, because they created a person that replaced me as a person. And it will get to a place where these people are replacing individuals with AI. When I say people, I mean agents and whatnot, like artist managers and whatnot. But there is the beauty of us being able to have like these random conversations where Girish put his thoughts in, some random was like I picked up someone using their phone over there, which AI will get to that place where you train an AI to do these things, because technically, if you think about it, we are also trained that way. The amalgamation of our life experiences make us who we are. AI is going to get to that place because they are defining these parameters that stop them from doing that. That's making them scary, right? So we do have to grow with AI if we are to get to a place of, machines have replaced us already. They are going to continue to replace us in the future. Are we in control of these machines? That's a conversation we need to have.
So many more conversations that we need to have. Yeah, last question is from Dhruv. But I have to say, we've really enjoyed this. We've enjoyed the spontaneity of having it on ground.
Yeah.
And we're missing having you all in the room along with us. And so further sessions also, keep connecting with us, join us online, join us on ground. And after Dhruv, Dhruv is just going to pass the mic to Samrat to tell you a little bit about why we are doing these sessions, and we'll see you at the next session. And after this we're going to be interacting. Everybody is going to be able to chat with Vineeth, and if you were here you would have been able to do that. But either ways you can still send your questions and your thoughts to Samrat, and maybe we'll try to get you some answers. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to go back to the mediocrity being popular now. Why do you create art? Is art for people to see, or is it for your creation? Is it because you're creating it? Like if you're just creating for the sake of it being good, then it shouldn't matter what people think about it. Or like it shouldn't matter how many people see it or if it's successful. Like why are you creating it? If mediocrity sells, then you should just make mediocre software.
Yeah. May I? So the answer is yes. If mediocrity sells and you do want to create that, one should create that if that's their end goal. Why I create is because it just feels right. It's important for us to exercise our rights as citizens, as free-thinking people, in order to say what is right, to sing what is right, to draw what is right, and to envision what an ideal, beautiful world should look like. Because let's say, I believe that we should not oppress another individual. Would you agree? Do you believe you oppress other individuals? You hope not? Do you eat meat? Right? So, can I change you? No. I came from a hardcore meat eating place. I was brought up in a Catholic family. I was trained that that was the right thing to do. As I went through my own artistic and spiritual journey, I realized that's me oppressing another individual with cognitive ability to process love, family, belonging, right? And I am oppressing that individual just because I think it does not have an opinion, because I am stronger than that individual. But when I have gotten only so much more later in my life did I get to a place where I said, what I've been doing my entire life was wrong. I should stop doing it. It was incredibly difficult for me to stop doing it, but somewhere along the line I had to stop doing it. But that doesn't mean the majority of the population still does. The majority of the population thinks it's okay to oppress another individual. We're looking at the biggest wars in the world, and we cannot find a solution because there's still a war on our plate that we refuse to fight as an individual. And only when we stop wearing those clothes that represent oppression, stop putting food on our plate that represents oppression. And we can't do that as an individual, and then we want to have an opinion on a war that's fought on a massive scale. So artists need to stop oppression. And when we start that journey of the least amount of oppression, can we expect someone else to do it? We need to live those lives. And so mediocrity does sell, because mediocre people do oppress as well. And that's, unfortunately,
it's just something neutral, isn't it? Like it's something for everyone. It doesn't really have a message. It's just for everyone to know.
Yeah, we enjoy oppression.
Yeah.
We're, like I said, if you look at history, we as people have oppressed consistently, which is why we are here right now. Like the fact that we're getting such cheap products means that someone is slaving in a factory somewhere without healthcare, without any of that, but we're still doing it. And we have to be on that journey where we're constantly trying to work with each other, as not just as people, as creators, as co-workers, to create a more beautiful tomorrow. And we are mediocre. That's an unfortunate truth. How do we stop being that? That is a conversation you and I need to have. That's a conversation, which is what I think you all are trying to build. Like, I cannot come up with the solution by myself. I need to work with the Sam. I need to work with the Sonia in order to deliver my best, let's say, sensei experience. I can't do it by myself, which is why sometimes when she's asking me these questions, I'm formulating the answers while she's asking the questions. And I'm realizing I need a Sonia in order for me to come up with the answers. I don't have the answers otherwise. So I need someone like you, Dhruv, to create that. Huh?
Phone guy.
Phone guy. That's your artist's name? Phone guy.
No, I was the phone guy.
You're the phone guy, one of the phone guys, yeah. No, there are 4 phone guys over there. Yeah. But I think we need to do that as a community.
Samrat, wrap up now. The online guys will be like...
In other words, Vineeth, stop speaking, you moron.
No. You can speak over snacks now. More speaking.
So, like, one thing we kind of missed out is
Good question, by the way.
has also brought his guitar and will play something for us too. But before we move to that, the reason why we are doing
I'll get the guitar.
is
No, sit.
We will love you and leave you and you can finish up.
Oh, okay. So this series is a precursor to a course. That is a course for the crafters. It's a bridge program, fellowship. It's a 16-weekend program for those who want to go into the next big stage of their professional lives, and also it's like a bridge program between academics and the industry, between internships and working in the industry. We are calling it Mind. A previous version of this course has been very successful, but bases the request of more than 572 students who have visited the design barn in the last 3 years, 67 interns who have demanded a bridge program like that over the last 2 years. We decided to launch this course for all of you, especially those who are watching online. And it's going to consist of modules like AI craft, where you will learn how to build prototypes with AI, and design sense pathway, which is a proprietary IP which has been developed as well. Where is the course happening from? The course will be happening from the design barn, where we are leaving this 9 class from. It's going to be the design barn is a creative consulting powerhouse with a full-fledged creative facility in the Wasim North area, where the learning will happen, and this course will have a cohort of online and offline students both. So there will be 2 options to choose from. There is a URL where you can go to know more about this course. It's designbarn.course/mind, where you will find more details about this course. And yeah, these exciting conversations are by the senseis of the same course, who will be giving you certain guidances and problems to solve. Having said that, we will now move on to the song.
Yeah, check. Thank you for that. Just a question. How's the audio going? Is it going from the mics into that as well, or? Okay. So this is not what they're listening to. Okay, they're listening to this mic. Okay. So what I'm going to do? Give me that. I'll just place this mic in front of the guitar, so we'll probably be able to hear it. Sure. let's try this out. Let's see. This is a song called Iron Hearts. I wrote it back in, I think, between 2007, 2008. I can't remember. It's been such a long time ago. And I only put it out in 2022. And this talks about finding your place in the universe, finding your calling, finding your goal, and try to find out who you are as a person. I think I won't be able to pluck. Can you hear that? Yeah? Okay. Check. Can you push up my mic on my voice a little bit more? Okay. Yeah, this should be good. Sleep under the stars. We sleep under these stars tonight. Sleep under the stars. We sleep under these stars tonight. These iron hearts. Yeah, yeah, these iron hearts. We started out together the first time your light shone. Darling, you and I, built from the same stone. This how I wanna live, smothered by affection. The life and other plans, these men without reflections, confused and dazed. Those times when we gave my life meaning. Now I'm aware, molded by fire, with love in our hearts. The first time I saw you, that's when my story starts. 'Cause we sleep under the stars, separated by this life. Do they know who we are? We sleep under the stars. All these lonely moons, they were meant to be ours. We sleep under the stars. Let me hold you while you're hurting. Let me love you when you're scars. We sleep under the stars. Tomorrow we go back to counting cars. Sleep under the stars. Sleep under the stars tonight. Tomorrow we go back to counting cars. 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 These iron hearts. Thank you.
So, if session 1 was about championing design, session 2 is a lot to do with musical intelligence and motivating performance. Thank you so much, Vineeth, for taking all the time to share your insights with us and playing songs.
I will shake your hand on that. Thank you.
We
One more.
encore.
Poppies. I'll switch it on. Not used this clip before. Okay. May I? Have to use that one as well? Okay. So using my shades as a way to hold it from slipping. Okay. Like Iron Hearts, I don't know if you noticed that that song would slow down. One part will go. That'll be one speed and the other is. That was the second speed. So I wrote that song by scrapping out two parts of two songs and sort of stitching them together to make one song. That's how I wrote Iron Hearts. I wrote the same song that I'm going to play. It's called Let It Fly. It was initially two songs where one part just goes so that was one song, and it goes, someday you'll call out my name. Yeah, someday you'll call out my name. So that was a part of one song, and the other part of the song was red flags, white flags, let it fly. Yeah. Red flags, white flags, let it fly. So that was another song. And I didn't like the lyrics of one half of that. And so I said, I like this part. So let me take this and let me put it into the other song, which is a very different vibe. So I had to find the right balance between song number 1 and song number 2. And it gave me this song, which is called Let It Fly. And it goes like this. Design barn to play these strings. Yeah. We march for our countries, we march for our pride. Take a leap of faith, or picking up your stride. World without borders, drawn by my carrots that do fly. Red flags, white flags, let it fly. Yeah. Red flags, white flags, let it fly. Thank you. And on that note, thank you all very much for joining us. We shall see you all offline and online. A little bit of beatboxing. See, at this rate, we're never going to get to that cup of tea. Just sing this out loud. Okay, I will stand for this one. Would that be okay? Will you take this and just leave it in my case out there? Okay, I'll stand for this. I have not set my audio, unfortunately, but I will show you a little bit of beatboxing. Beatboxing is, for me, patterns of, he's telling me go back to where I came from. I'm going back. Can I stand though? Can I stand like this? That'll be okay. Marvelous, just marvelous. Okay, so beatboxing for me is patterns of unlearning speech. For example, when I say the words beatbox, when you say it, you're saying it so that people can understand. So you're taught that you have to say words by using your mouth, using your tongue, and so that other people can understand it. Beatboxing is basically taking those words and making them sound like a machine is doing it. For example, when you say the words beatbox, you stress on the b sound. So you go beatbox, and it's sort of forgetting. I make it sound like AI is doing it. So you make it sound like AI basically. And you forget that you're saying the words after a certain point in time. Instead of saying beat, box, you just make beat, box. And you're not saying it anymore, you're just making the sound. So you're going beat, box, beat, box. And you keep adding sounds as you go along the way. A simple sound like tss, can you all say tss, like you're hissing? Perfect. Now you go beat, tss, box. Yeah, now instead of saying beat, you go beat, Some of you all are getting it, some of you all are struggling because we're taught that this is the way you need to say it. And so muscle memory is making you say the words, but you're forgetting that you're saying the words. You're going beatbox, and then you hold the mic in the right way, like it's a whole different conversation. And you go beatbox, 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 and then you add the DJ scratch, go. Yep. Also, you take everyday sounds, by the way, thank you very much. That's the loudest I've heard you all so far, which is why I'm not making it as a musician, because people rather hear this instead. Anyway, a cool sound. You know, when we were little kids, we all went playing our little bikes. We go, how many of you all did that, like your little cars, and you just go around all the way like that? Yeah? See, I didn't go out of frame. I'm smart like that. That sound, can you all just go, yeah, just do. Now, forget that you're making the sound. Just make the sound with your lips. You're just going. That on the mic sounds like this. All I'm doing is. On the mic, it's a whole different ball game. And you're going, you can say things like, people of the audience, my name is Vineeth Vincent. This is the Design Barn. And this is beatboxing. Yeah, thank you. So simple everyday sounds. I'll do one more sound before I leave, otherwise she'll say, one more, and then I'll have to come back again. So, I'm saying, one more. Okay, you want one more? I'm doing, yeah, hi. Mindcast. No, I should have said that. This is Mindcast. Mindcast, okay. Say wow. Everyone say wow. Now say wow, wow. This is another stupid noise I did as a little kid, and I started doing once again when I started beatboxing. How many of you went? How many of you did that? Hands up in the air. How many of you did not do that? Hands up in the air. You had a very difficult childhood, young man. A very, very difficult childhood. I feel for you. We'll talk over a cup of tea. Done. Okay, so that sound, when you're working on these sounds as individuals, by the way. You're not trying to learn all of these sounds at one time. You pick one sound. So for example, if you want to learn, you keep focusing on just that one thing and not anything else. After a while, it'll sound like this. And then you take that sound and you put it in a word like wow. It'll sound like this. Wow. And then you go twice, you go wow, wow. And then when you've practiced the other sounds, you sort of put it in this and it sounds like this. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Yep. Thank you all very much. It's quite warm in here. We shall see you all in the next session. This is Mindcast signing off. Ciao everyone. Bye-bye.